Hey guys, go to hardafseltzer.com. Get some 8% seltzer shipped right to your house. We got the peach, we got the watermelon, we got the pina colada, and the blue raspberry. We are currently live in over 300 stores in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and the Outer Banks in North Carolina. And if you're heading out to the Major League ballparks this summer, make sure to check us out in the Miami Marlins Stadium, as well as Tropicana Field, home to the Tampa Bay Rays, as well as the Tampa Bay Rowdies. We are live inside all three stadiums. So if you're down in Florida this year, check us out. Go to hardafseltzer.com today and check your store locator or order them right to your house.
Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Yeah, welcome to Drinkin' Bros, kids. It's the old Sunday night show that we record on Fridays. Drinking all the things here today. Really getting into it today. Felt like the earth moved last night, D'Anthony. That was one of the first times where everybody, it seemed like neighborhood-wise, all the bars and restaurants driving home, everybody had on the same TV feed where we were watching this Trump motorcade go into Fulton County downtown, and then we're all waiting for the Mugshot last night, which came out. What'd you think of it?
I didn't see any of that.
You didn't see nothing, huh?
I saw the 7,000 people trying to, boost their own social media or sell merch with Trump's face on it.
Yeah.
I saw that, and
Yeah.
it's fucking gay as shit.
Well, I mean, what'd you think was going to happen? That's exactly what I expected.
Yeah, well, grifter's going to grift, for sure, yeah.
Not shocked by it at all.
There are some funny memes, though. There's one of him throwing up the blood sign, which is pretty funny.
I like that one. I like that one.
I was disappointed in the mugshot. I mean, it's
Really,
pretty...
pop that up right now. Pop that up, because it was...
He looks like a fucking Batman villain or something.
That's the point, I think. That's the point. I mean, right now, like I'm reading the reviews, because there's reviews on the mugshot here. It's a great one. We were going through our favorites last night. I even posted it on my Instagram. It was this one, Lindsay Lohan, which is the hottest arrest mugshot of all time. And
I don't
then
think that's
Martin Luther
right.
King. Yes, have you seen it?
Sure, yeah, but not the hottest. I mean, there's a
She
whole...
looks amazing. Usually girls have mascara, they're crying, it's a whole fucking thing.
There's a whole social media channel. I can't remember what it's called.
Bob knows.
It's
Hot girls.
It's
yeah.
something mugs, but it's just mugshots of hot girls.
Of hot girls, yeah.
And then they're all way hotter than Lindsay Lohan was at her hottest.
I don't think so. This, you can pop it up, Bob. Let's see. What do we got here? What do we got?
For what?
The hot girl mugshots that you just pulled
I'm
up.
grabbing it. Mug shouties.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
pop-
a social media
pop up the first couple there, Bob.
channel somewhere.
Here, it's a Twitter. I got it.
All right.
Or an X. I'm sorry, an X. Look at
That
this.
is an X.
Whew.
Like that'll, like for sure that'll play.
Keep scrolling. Just go down the
play.
list.
Yeah.
Possession of marijuana is not that big of a deal.
Oh, they got Trump on there. Look at that. They got Trump on there. Let's go, baby.
really funny.
There we go. Expired registration. Man, there's some better ones. There's like arson.
Yeah, and these girls are hot enough, but Lohan's picture was just top notch, dude.
Oh, here's
Conspiracy
that hot
to
Russian
act as
spy.
an
Oh,
unlawful...
damn.
Oh, all right.
I'd sell out nuclear secrets for her.
A lot of people would.
Gingers are going out of style. You need to bang them while you can.
Sure is.
Because otherwise they're not going to be around anymore.
Is that a teacher, Bob? Who's that?
No,
Blonde.
Falsifying
Dean of a
public
community
records.
college. Yeah.
That's worse than being a teacher somehow.
Uh-oh,
Possession of
marijuana.
marijuana.
There we go. It's like that'll work.
God, this is
Oh
not-
no, that
well,
one.
It's pretty hot for first degree murder.
Oh, is that? I was gonna say she would murder your fucking dick.
She's got a neck tat.
Look at that.
DUI.
DUI. Who's that broad?
DUI.
Yeesh. That's the thing. So look at it. She's all bruised up. She probably hit the steering wheel.
Oh, my God.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Runny mascara. That's typically what a girl goes through because the first instinct is to cry when you get pulled over. And then let's say you do go to the pokey or the who's scowl,
Wait,
as
what-
I like to call it, then you're stuck with a mugshot like this where you're
back up.
crying and sad.
What is third-degree grand theft?
Did it on accident.
You accidentally stole a car?
No, I think you maybe stole a tricycle. You know, it's not a motorcycle, it's not a car, but maybe you stole a tricycle. that broad?
That's the woman that killed her husband, right?
Boyfriend, Jodi Arias.
Yeah, Jodi
Yeah.
Arias.
Well, Jodi Arias in the courtroom footage, yeah. But Lohan is one of my faves of all time. Pop up the Lohan pic from my feed. It's on. If you're staying on Twitter, you can just go to @STJames on that thing, and it's on there where you're just like, bravo, Lindsay, bravo, you really did it. Now she's had multiple arrests in her life. It's this specific mugshot that really got me. How do you top that?
That's pretty good.
How do you top that?
She looks pretty fucking good.
I know. How do you top that?
What year was that?
2003.
That was a prime, dude. That was prime Lohan right there. Probably
3 or 4.
It has
3
to
or
be.
4 years after Freaky Friday.
So Mean Girls came out 2004. I feel like it has to be after Mean Girls.
Yes, it definitely was. They would not have hired her for Mean Girls for sure, with all the shit that she went through.
Why not? Mean Girls was Tiffany Faye, right?
Tina Fey.
Tina
Yeah.
Fey. What the fuck?
Tina Fey. But at that period, you were a fuck up afterwards. If you fucked up beforehand, you weren't getting that gig. So afterwards, I think she's got maybe 4 or 5 mugshots. But the Trump one, I think, was very obvious to me, where it's like, all right, I'm going to give a death stare. This is who I am, and I'm going to get revenge on the White House and try to win in 2024.
You think he's upset at the actual building?
I think he's upset about not only the building, but the everything that's going around, but beside it, and he's
gonna go fuck that Rose Garden up.
He's gonna destroy that place.
Yeah, as soon as he gets back in January, or what is it gonna be? January the 25th.
Maybe 21st. 20th,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
20th, 2025.
Yeah, he's just gonna go like full on hedgerow clipper.
I would.
Just fucking. These things have
would.
been here for 80 years.
Yep.
Suck on this.
I mean-
Trim them down.
You know what used to be at the Rose Garden, right?
What's that?
JFK's fuck pool.
Yeah, where he fucked 16-year-olds
No way.
exclusively.
It was.
Is that real?
yeah,
Underage girls. Yes.
It was a swimming pool. The White House used to have a swimming pool.
I wouldn't say exclusively.
Yeah, I mean Marilyn was of age, but
Bar-
he fucked.
barely.
No, I mean in the
Probably.
pool.
Yeah,
Maybe he
yeah.
fucked her in the pool. I don't think he would have banged her at the White House though. That would have been
Right.
That's a bit much. You go to-
JFK had a fuck pool, huh?
You go to a
Yeah.
hotel for that. Oh yeah, JFK definitely banged underage
God damn
girls
it,
at the
dude.
White House.
Jackie O filled it with concrete.
Did she really?
when he was out of town.
Because she knew he was just fucking girls and she couldn't go to sleep. She was hearing it outside. Oh, God, how dark is that, dude? You got to fill up the pool with concrete because your husband's out banging 16-year-olds as the president of the United States out back, and you got to fill it up with concrete when he's out
Yeah,
of town.
somebody should have filled up Martin Luther King's apartment with concrete
I know.
because he was cream pieing 16-year-olds all the time.
Tons.
I have a dream. That's what he says when he comes. I have a dream.
Do you
That's
think,
why I put it in that pic. I put MLK, Lohan, and Trump.
I think Jackie O had like a Secret Service agent that filled her up.
Oh, dude, she was getting cream pied by somebody. for sure.
Yeah, I heard
just
she
hope
did.
so.
Yeah, I heard she did.
When did she die? Jackie
Late in life,
Onassis.
she was around for a long time. She married that billionaire guy,
94.
the Onassis guy, obviously.
She was not 94. She died in 1990. She was 64 years old. That's kind of young.
It is.
What'd she die of?
AIDS?
Fentanyl overdose?
No, it was a fentanyl overdose from treatment of AIDS.
Of AIDS?
Her
Okay.
AIDS was acting up and her legs were hurting. So
And I think she was on a Sea-Doo, if memory serves me correctly.
yeah, she was doing backflips.
Yeah,
which is
man.
on a stand-up is easier to do it on a stand-up, I think,
Right.
because of the propulsion. So she was pretty talented.
She just couldn't complete the full rotation
Yeah.
and broke her neck on that Sea-Doo. R.I.P. Jackie O. But with Trump, look, they were hoping for it. His team was hoping for it. It actually happens. I was surprised at the speed and the merch that came out after. I mean, so quickly. I was telling Bob before the show, I counted 27 different T-shirt companies on my feeds throughout Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram within the first hour that I eventually just, I had to shut the internet down for the evening and watch the preseason game, which sucks last night.
Yeah, I didn't watch 1 second of that.
Sure didn't. It was the Falcons, so I popped my beak in for a little bit, obviously. But with Trump, I was like, oh my God, dude, has a picture spread around the world more quickly in the history of mankind? Probably not. Ben Shapiro had the best quote last night. He just said, dude, you already had the most photographed man on the planet, and then this iconic photo on top of it, like you just made him the most famous man on earth, like immediately overnight once again. What were you thinking on that? And that's what I don't understand. If you want to mugshot the rest of these people just to prove a point, fine. But for Trump, he's probably going to raise the most amount of money in his campaign that he's ever raised in his entire career in the next 48 to 72 hours. You gave him the ultimate gift of this photo. Because, I mean, Trump last night even joined Twitter. Did you see that? He came back to Twitter last night and was immediately selling mugs, T-shirts, all the things for campaigning and everything else. He went to Instagram. He was on Instagram selling it. He went to True Social selling it. Why would the DA give him this gift like this?
I don't know. I mean, maybe they're just bad at their jobs, but it is. I think the last couple of years, the way the government has treated people is bringing. I think it's bringing folks together. I think the division that they tried to sow from the middle of the Obama administration through the first or second year of the Trump administration between race, I think is they were in a good spot disrupting the American public and keeping them looking at jangly keys while they're robbing them blind. And then the shit they pulled during COVID, it seems like it had a big effect in pushing people back towards being extremely skeptical of institutions and not focusing so much on the differences between ordinary citizens. And then the way they're coming after Trump right now is a huge mistake.
I agree.
And we saw the result of it almost immediately. Well, not almost. I mean, we saw the result immediately. Not just the shirts and all the fucking media coverage, because he could do that on his own, really. I mean, he sold $4 million worth of NFTs 2 years after NFTs were even a thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But what we saw immediately after he left the Fulton County detention center is not what I would have expected to see. And what it was is the Trump motorcade driving through a poor black city or poor black town near Atlanta, and black people lined up on the side of the street with signs cheering him on. Like, if you don't think that's blowback for the DNC, this is a huge mistake.
Yeah, Bob, go ahead and play this video here that because Dan sent me this last night. Pop this up and show this to people.
Y'all see it, man. Which one are you in, though?
I mean, they're playing music in the background and shit. Like,
this is where, despite all the shit the media and government and education has tried to pull to divide us as people in this country, when they see, and I said something about it on Twitter this morning, the way that white conservatives,
you can cut the footage, Bob. You're good.
Yeah. The way that white conservatives now feel about the Department of Justice and the agency and whatever else, the FBI, I guess more specifically, the way that white conservatives now feel about those organizations is kind of how black and Latino folks have felt about local police for a long time. And it seems like everybody's kind of starting to figure that out. Like, yeah, we want to back the blue. We want to trust these people. We want to have a government that looks out for us, but it isn't. And it doesn't make us unpatriotic to say that. Like, if your house is on fire, it doesn't make you anti-house to put out the fire.
Right. And with this, one of your questions was, you were like, hey, dude, can you explain this and why this is happening when you sent me this video? And I said, yeah. So I know, obviously, Fulton County was my county that I grew up in my entire life. Shit, man. I knew not to get arrested because that's the fucking jail we would go to. And we all
you want to be a little farther.
Shithole,
you want to be a little farther north if you get arrested.
You got to get out of the county.
Yeah.
You got to get out of Fulton County specifically because it stretches.
Yeah.
And this neighborhood in particular was a warning. They send the cops into the high schools and all that stuff of like, hey, if you're white, you're not going there after 10 p.m. Like, it is a shutdown, lockdown. Sometimes there was a couple times in instances where cops will pull you over just for seeing you for being white and being like, hey,
do you know where you are?
Yep, that's exactly what they ask. Did you get off at the wrong exit? Are you lost? And usually the answer was, I'm trying to get to a Braves game or a stand-up gig or whatever it was. And in this instance, because what they're pitching this in the media is like, oh, well, this is, the Democratic voters and everything else. Why are they lining the streets? What you did here by the motorcade and the arrest and the mugshot and everything else is you made Trump one of them. So this neighborhood doesn't see any excitement like this ever. You never see anybody with a motorcade driving through this fucking neighborhood ever. And the fact that what is on the outside, and who knows what his real finances are, it appears as if the whitest, richest, most influential person in America, the president of the United States, is now going to the same jails that they've been going to, and they're doing the same perp walk and everything else that they have to. Now these people feel like Trump is one of us, and fuck the government, fuck all these people. Yeah. And that's a bad sign. So when you sent me this video, I was like, this is exactly what is happening.
Well, it's only a bad sign, though, if they capitalize on it. You know what I mean? And you don't do that by bringing in Ben Carson, for example. Right? Ben Carson has nothing to say to these people. But Maj Toure, a guy from fucking Philly that's a libertarian that wants government to be smaller and spends most of his time teaching black people how to use guns safely and the laws about guns so they can acquire them and defend themselves. Somebody like that as part of your ground game, now you're fucking making progress. It isn't the case anymore that Republicans only get 2 to 3% of the black vote in most major cities. It would be exponentially more than that, because you can now draw a direct line from the way the federal government is treating anybody that dissents, or anybody that isn't one of them, right? This in-group, out-group bullshit. You can draw a direct line between that and the treatment at the local level of some crony and lazy police over the years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's... The side of the car says protect and serve, and the implication is to protect and serve the community, not the state. And that's what, that feeling that the FBI and Department of Justice, more broadly speaking, is an agent of the state and is there in place to defend the state from the people. That's how black people have felt about local police in major cities for a long time. And it's a failure. It doesn't necessarily mean that the police's actions were all wrong, because you still have to enforce law and stop crime and shit. But just the way that you approach it, the way that you describe things, and the way that the institution is viewed by the community is fucking important. It's important that matters, or it's important and it matters about how you talk about it. So I think this is a big opportunity, not just for Trump, but for small government people in general, to return a little bit of sanity to what the fuck's going on here. Hopefully they'll take advantage of it. But to be honest, I don't know who on the Trump team would do it. Nobody that I know on the Trump team has the capability of doing it. They need to bring some actual black people into their campaign.
And look, we'll see what happens.
And it isn't about equity or representation or any of this gay fucking buzzword you hear. It's just about like, hey, I'm from where you're from. Here's the explanation of why this shit's similar. Here, and this is what I've been talking about for years on this show. The fucking shit we all bitch about, left or right, pretty much all can be condensed into the same argument. You know what I mean? If you strip away the particulars, the crux of the argument is that, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Leave me the fuck alone. You know what I mean? And defend me. And when it comes time to help me fucking progress. But that's not what the state does anymore. They just extract wealth from the population. So I think it's a pretty easy argument to make to the black community. I know the Hodge twins have said a bunch that they'll never change because it's part of their culture, and there's probably some truth to that. But I think this is the opportunity to get it done. So hopefully they'll take the next step, whatever it is.
Yeah. And some other friends of mine last night were asking me about this motorcade going down through Fulton County and all that other stuff, and has that ever happened? The answer is no.
Obama didn't drive through there.
Sure didn't. No president has ever been through there. The only time that I can think about it as a kid, just one time, is do you remember when Dion was playing for both the Falcons and the Braves at the same time?
Oh, yeah.
And he was going back and forth. So I was there for most of that. And as that was going on, they had to give him a motorcade to get him from stadium to stadium for these practices and things like that. That is the only time in my life that I can remember that happening in Fulton County, Georgia, like ever. I mean, that's how extraordinary this is. And so for all those people that were lining the streets in that footage we saw, well, yeah, I mean, it's been 30 years since something like that has happened in that area.
Well, it's a big deal. And not just for show. It's a big deal to show people that you're willing to come to where they are. If you remember when we had, God, who was it from the Trump administration? The guy that got out of jail that we had on not long ago, like 6 months ago. Fuck.
White guy?
Yeah. Old.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that. But this is what I was talking about. Trump himself needs to go into the black community. He needs to, like what he just did right here. He needs to fucking have some of his events in like inner cities.
Did he choose the route?
No, he didn't.
Let me be like, Secret Service chooses routes and all that stuff, but there's no way that Trump didn't have input on it, because they would not have driven through that area if they did. Because you need, like, some of the things you look for is, and if you noticed from the video, they had an EMS in tow with them.
Yep.
But you need easy access to to freeways, multiple freeways if possible, and a route that goes near airfields just in case you have to get the fuck out of there with Marine One or whatever, and then hospitals. You want a major hospital to be every so far on the route that you're taking if you're getting out of there.
Correct.
And this is not where that is.
No, like the only hospital down there is Grady Memorial, and that's not a great hospital. The other thing to this, Bob, is did you watch any of it last night?
No, I had stuff to do.
So, they broke into every single channel there was. So, I mean, even ABC, NBC, CBS, there's nowhere to go. It was wall-to-wall Trump. But during this, they actually gave them access to a camera feed from one of those black SUVs that was facing Trump's vehicle. And that I don't have an answer to. So, I mean, all of it was clearly staged for television and everything else. Now, did that come from Trump's team? I would have to imagine that video footage would have to do it, or the government wouldn't approve that, right? Like,
that footage came from just somebody's cell phone.
No, not that. So on the live footage, there was a camera pointing out the window of the driver's seat of an SUV following Trump.
That would not be Trump, because he wouldn't be in the front seat.
Yes,
but it would have been one of his staffers, maybe. I mean, it depends. But that would have been in a separate car.
But all the news feeds cut in and out of that footage and that camera throughout the nights on every single feed there. And as far as major highways go, Bob, is that what you're looking up right now?
Yeah, the one identifier in the video is the TNG tax service. So I'm trying to match that to where the
you're looking at probably I-20. I wouldn't imagine him getting on 85 or 75 during that, but it's also what Dan said of where the Trump plane is parked, which I would imagine would be Hartsfield Airport, because he was in and out of there pretty quickly and then up in the air after that. So there's about 4 or 5 different routes you could take to get into that prison, depending upon if you went in from the north or not. But I felt like, at least for me, that it was very staged on the Trump part to capitalize on everybody with social media and everything else.
This would have been a route that they almost certainly would have had to take.
From where? What's that at?
Okay, so here's the Fulton County Jail.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Here's 85. This is there. I don't know how else you would get to here.
So if you punch in all those side streets, you could take any one of those to get there. Most of those are like out in the country houses there.
This is right adjacent to downtown Atlanta.
100%. But you want to take the main route. You're not going to take the side streets there. You're going to take the one that'll get you where the footage is, where the gas stations are, all that other stuff. Otherwise, you could cut through neighborhoods.
Well, for security reasons, you would never just cut through neighborhoods.
Probably not. Yes.
Unless, which is what they did, by the way. They cut through neighborhoods, maybe out of necessity. I don't know. But if it were me, there's no way. You take the most direct line to a major thoroughfare. Mm-hmm. There's no way you because it's the randomness of cutting through streets can be useful sometimes, but you can get, if you're buried in there and all that shit without fucking clear line of sight around you, you can get fucking jammed up pretty quick. You can have a cordon set up around your perimeter without even knowing it. You know
And I'm sure the Secret Service had that marked off.
Oh, yeah, they're the best.
Weeks.
Yeah,
so,
well, I don't know about weeks, but they definitely.
Well, they knew it was happening.
3 days prior, they would have been out there inspecting that and running patrols. They would have had local PD out there.
And they knew it was happening
patrols,
2 weeks in advance. So, we all knew this was coming. We didn't know when he would have to turn himself in and everything else. So,
it appears this is one of 2 roads they would have had to take. It's like a weird back. It's literally they would have had to take.
Bob, you're showing me like my own city. Like I know exactly what it is.
Wait, go back to the map.
What do you want, the map or the street view?
The map. Like zoom in a little bit.
You've seen Atlanta, the TV show, right? It's pretty goddamn accurate.
And the red point is where up.
Oh, yeah.
That's the jail?
That's the Fulton County Jail.
And what's north of that?
West Marietta Street.
What's the main road that's a little bit north of that? The gray one. Or is that a bus
train
line?
tracks.
Okay,
Yeah.
train tracks. Yeah, you would probably want to avoid that as well.
We played Marietta in high school. They fucking smoked us, dude. God damn it.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting flashbacks of that. That was the only stadium, Bob, where they left the bus in the end zone. We couldn't even go into the school to change, dude. They were like, hey, get the white team out of there. That's crazy.
So, it looks like they probably took Joseph Boone Boulevard, went right on Lowry, and then up to whatever the fuck
Mike Lowry down
street
there.
this is.
Or Lowry seasoning salt.
Yeah.
It's my dad's last name, Jerry Lowry, if he's watching out there at home. But yeah, dude, shitty jail also, by the way. That place, Bob, do you remember that story we did about the guy who got eaten alive by scabies in his bed? Mm-hmm. Same jail.
I don't think he spent any time in there.
Where?
In a bed.
No, Trump did not. However, if he were to actually get convicted, that is where he would be for this particular case.
How fucking cool would it be if he had just like, hey, can you just put me in the cell for a minute? And he takes a selfie. By the way, there's something else about all this we need to address, and that is the height and weight that Trump gave.
Yeah, you guys were way off, dude. On that mybookie.com.
No, they didn't weigh.
We were right.
They didn't weigh him.
That's not what Vegas cares about, guys. The number came in what the number came in at.
Self-reported.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers is actually a bigger man than Donald Trump.
Let's
Sure is.
Let's
Sure
slow
is.
down.
Very svelte.
So the numbers that Trump gave to the Fulton County jail were 6'3" and 215 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's nonsense.
Well, 6'3" I can confirm.
Yeah, well he's probably 6'2" now because he's hunching a little bit, but he's a tall man. There's no question about that. But 270 probably is more accurate.
No, I think they got it. 215 is
just pull up a
is
recent
pretty
picture
in
of him.
shape.
I mean, don't pull up the worst picture of him of all time.
I mean, don't do that, Bob.
But it is probably accurate. You know who else is 6'3", 215? Lamar Jackson. Do they look the same to you?
They're identical.
Yeah.
They're identical.
They're not. No.
But to put in perspective, so I'm 6'3", I'm 225.
Yeah.
That's my exact weight, 223 for being after the doctor's appointment this morning, I guess. But and Trump's a little bigger than me in real life. I can promise you that.
At a minimum, he's 250.
I will say this.
Which is not bad for a 70 or 80-year-old dude. Like, I'm not saying he's a piece of shit or nothing, but he's not 215 pounds either.
I'm 210 pounds.
Oh, is that what he
You
said?
are?
210?
No, I am.
Oh,
you are, yeah. But you look beefy. If we put a suit on you with a bigger jacket like that, you look a little bigger. We wouldn't know.
There's no chance
wouldn't
Trump
know.
is under 245.
Trump actually deadlifts more than you. So I'm sorry. I hate to break it to
He
you,
doesn't
Delco.
work out,
but,
actually. He's actually been on record saying that working out is a waste of his battery. The human body only has so much battery. You can't waste it on working out.
I actually agree with that.
He's basically just calling
agree with it.
He's just basically calling everybody poor.
Poor,
when he says
yeah,
that.
poor.
Oh, what do you got? Fucking calluses on your hands, you poor bitch.
Poor. It's only us poors that have to work out.
Yeah.
Other than that, you can live forever. Look at Bill Gates.
Been
Look at
saying
Trump.
for- Poor people lift things.
Yeah,
I
dude.
don't know. Bezos is fucking getting weights off.
He's doing
now.
it right.
He's on steroids, and that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
but
for
he's
him.
lifting. You got to lift.
Yeah.
You do.
Oh, shit,
bit of
it's
work.
fucking Kyle Rittenhouse Day.
You don't say.
I didn't know.
Are we going to Kenosha tonight?
I just got a thing about it.
Congratulations. I didn't know it was Kyle
Yeah,
Rittenhouse.
so 2 useless turds were, escorted off the planet, I guess
Yeah.
you might say.
Good for them. R.I.P. to those guys. And then that guy's arm.
One of them was a
guy's arm
fucking.
got blown off.
The first guy was a pedophile.
First guy was a pedophile, and the other guy, what was it? The guy who bashed him in the head with a skateboard?
skateboarder, was probably not a great dude either. But
all the people he killed were probably fine with.
Well,
and then the guy who lost his arm, I think it's just a valuable life lesson.
Well, he was a felon carrying a handgun, so
all right.
Fuck him.
Well,
right?
he won't be able to. He's gonna have to shoot left-handed now.
Yeah, I think he actually got not Cyclops. Who is it? What Cyclops brother's name that had the laser shooting out of his chest or whatever the fuck it is? Mm-hmm. I'm talking about that guy. Yeah, that's what I'm getting installed.
Oh, that's cool.
Chest laser.
Havoc.
Yeah. Havoc. That's it. Yeah.
That'd be fun. But for Trump, we'll see how this all shakes out here. Obviously, we're gonna have his lawyer on the show next week, so we'll be able to chat with her about it. I can tell you this, though. Again, she was amped that the picture was taken. The whole entire team was, the campaign guys, all of it. And my God, did that go around the world in 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. To the point where you were, I had to turn off the internet for the night. I was like, I can't see one more thing of this. I put my funny post up of my 3 faves, and then I bounced after that. Go to our Instagram feed, Bob, for Drinkin' Bros Podcast. There you go. Instagram. Now pop up the N-words for Trump there. We're going to let everybody see this. Play it from the beginning if you can.
Support President Trump?
There you go.
Because they done did black men like this for decades. Make up charges and put them, so I know Trump is innocent. I support Trump against this corrupt, two-tiered justice system. That's why I'm here to show my support as a black man for Trump. And I'm wearing my shirt, Niggas for Trump 2024, and I mean that.
What do you think about the indictment?
Oh, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's going around the country. Fannie Willis, she went to school with my sister. She's full of shit. She was full of shit. So she's a puppet for the white liberal that is controlling everything. She's in front, but the white liberal back there pulling those strings, telling her what to do. That's what I think about her, making a fool of herself.
Malcolm X tried to warn people about this shit.
Sure
of course it is. It's going to elevate him all the way. I think we should make Trump king. That's how I feel. I'm here to support President.
Yeah, we need to get in touch with this guy and start a new podcast called N-Words for Trump.
I'm down.
And he's the host. And he just interviews other black people and tries to convince them to vote for Trump.
The funniest thing about this video, because I clipped it for our Instagram, it goes on for about another 30 seconds, but I edited it out. At the end of the video, there's a guy off camera there, not that woman who was interviewing him. He goes, "Hey, dude, where do I get that T-shirt?" And he turns around without missing a beat, and he goes, "Where do you get the T-shirt?" I mean, obviously, it's nwordsfortrump.com. And he goes, "Oh, shit, is that URL still, is that yours, or is it available, whatever?" He goes, "I don't fucking know."
It's definitely not a website. I just looked at that. Now I've got that in my search history. So that'll probably come back on me at some point, but what are you going to do, man? You got to fucking figure shit out sometimes.
Oh, but that's the other element to it, is you have social media, you have all these videos on your phones and everything else, and it just creates this aura around him that keeps growing and growing. I think the only thing that their team had said was, we wish this would have happened next October, about a month before the election, and I agree. You can't control timing on this, but man, you'd love to capitalize off of all of it now, right before you go out and vote. But we'll have to keep an eye on how this shakes out, because I don't think any of this shit is even close to going to trial, right? If he just got indicted yesterday,
there are hearings scheduled. I think there's one
March.
They're trying to nail down a date between October or March are the two start
dates.
dates.
There's a hearing in September, I think, for the federal case for J6, where they're trying to get cameras in the court. There's going to be a bunch of small things that Trump won't attend between now and the end of the year, probably.
So that was my next question. Does he have to attend these? Because
it depends.
Well, if he does, then there's a major fucking gripe of, hey, dude, you're cutting into my election time right now, and I'm the favorite from the Republican Party. So I know he is asked to push this until after the election. And in my opinion, rightfully so. You're not close in the polls. I could understand if you were polling at 10, 20%, then it wouldn't matter. But he's definitely the candidate from the Republican Party at this point.
Yeah.
Unless he dies or unless he is magically sent to prison.
No. He'll still be.
That's right. He'll still be. Yeah.
I mean, technically.
Primaries will go on. You're right.
Technically, the RNC would be able to put somebody else in. They can do that. They get to decide. Like the stuff that Trump wanted Pence to do with electors on January 6th, which is, not technically illegal, but a gray area, I guess, but definitely not the way that things are supposed to happen. That can absolutely happen at the committee, or I'm sorry, at the conventions. Like the RNC can fucking, they get to name whomever their fucking delegates are, right?
Yeah.
So they could have a vote. Trump wins 100%. They're like, no, we don't want that. Fire all the delegates and put in people that'll vote the way they want to. That's completely legal, technically, for them to do that. Now, it would piss a lot of people off. And to be honest, Trump would have course to sue and get his name on the ballot anyways, even if it's just as an independent or something like that.
Right.
And he would still win, right?
Yeah.
So the RNC wouldn't do that. Even from prison, he's still their best candidate.
The last note on this before we move to something else here is regarding Fulton County and Fannie Willis and those guys. I don't know how they have the funding for a trial of this size. That's another thing that I'm going to keep an eye on here because, again, Fulton County stretches out so wide that the funding is really short. The police officers, they're very short there. This is the same county that Buckhead was trying to
they
secede
defunded
from.
the police there.
Yes. So I don't know that they have any of the fucking resources financially or police-wise to handle a trial of this magnitude. Bob, as a Braves fan, obviously you guys host Tomahawk Podcasts. One of the major reasons for the Atlanta Braves to get out of Fulton County and go to Cobb County was they had more money. It's in a richer county than Fulton County itself, so they're out of there. They just wanted to get out of the county itself for the new stadium out there. So I'm not sure where this funding is going to come from because you don't even have enough funding for police in downtown Atlanta. I mean, it's scary as shit down there. So
I'm just thinking of the OJ trial. I think cost the city of LA $15 million. Is that right? That was in 1995.
Right, it's a lot higher.
That was fucking 30 years ago. Almost.
Yeah.
That it's going to cost them like $50 million to do this because of all the security concerns. Unless they get the federal government to provide security for it, which why would they, and why would they foot the bill for that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's not a federal case.
You might get the state.
Like you could declare a state of emergency, I guess.
You could get the state to cover part of it.
But
because
why the fuck would the state of Georgia cover the cost?
Why would the taxpayers want to cover
You know
that
what I mean?
cost?
I think that's a big talking point
I
for.
imagine Kemp or Raffensperger, whatever the fuck his name is, are going to have to testify at some point.
Kemp will, for sure.
Well, no, the Secretary of State, it would probably be more. Well, he was the one on the phone call that Trump is getting.
He was the one on the phone
indicted
call,
for.
and then Jeff Duncan was the other guy, the lieutenant governor.
So they're going to have state officials testify. What I'm saying is the state would be like if you need like police force or whatever, like state troopers.
Well, the other problem is they're going to need protection for themselves because the voters aren't happy and the Republican voters aren't happy. And I know those guys are getting a lot of death threats and all that stuff. So how do you pay for all of that? And the way she wants to try this case, she wants to try all 19 of them at once. It's not just Trump in this down there. It's Giuliani as well. It's Mark Meadows. It's all those guys. You're going to have to provide security for them too because let's face it, Rudy Giuliani is pretty goddamn famous as well. So
It isn't just about
do that.
It isn't just about providing security for the defendants or anybody. Just like there's a good chance that there will be a lot of human beings who show up to this, like Michael Jackson trial style.
Yeah.
I would imagine that rural Georgia is just kind of waiting for this trial to happen so they can all drive there and make a scene.
Oh,
frankly.
for sure. But if to my recollection, where the jail is completely separate from the courthouse. The courthouse is downtown. To block off all of downtown over and over and over again for a trial that would probably last a year, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, the actual in-court time is going to be 4 to 6 weeks, probably, right? At least.
More, but I would think more if you're going into
but it's
the
off
footage.
and on. I'm talking about
Right.
the main part of the trial, then the
Right.
deliberation and shit. Then the sentencing will come later. That'll be like a week long, but 4 to 6 weeks. That's in downtown of any city, but downtown Atlanta. Like you think traffic is bad anywhere else on earth? Atlanta is the worst place.
The worst.
It's worse than fucking LA. I mean, it's just
I've
the
lived in
fucking
both.
worst.
It is way worse than Atlanta, and holy shit, it is shocking every single time.
And it's like, I can't even understand how, because they've built 185, 285, 485, all these things in addition to the major highway 85 there, and then
you got 20, you got 400. I mean,
but it's still fucked.
Fucked.
Always traffic is fucked there.
So this will be an absolute shit show.
Yeah, it's going to cost a fortune.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to think of the last like big trial that was there. I think it was Ray Lewis
In Atlanta?
when he murdered those guys.
But that wasn't.
It wasn't very long, and the media was what it is today, certainly, and you also didn't have the element of social media. So God knows what would happen down there. And if you're trying all 19 at once and they're showing up together every single day, just to usher those guys into the courtroom every day would take 2 fucking hours. Trying to get 19 different people, their legal teams, their security teams, just into the building.
Yeah, it's a logistical nightmare. I mean, is he asking for a change of venue in this one? Probably not. I mean, there would be no point, to be honest. Because it's all of Fulton County. And to be honest, if I'm
30% of Fulton County is Republican.
Sure, yeah, but maybe more of them are Trump fans than just the 30% who are Republican.
Right.
At this point, right? I think you might have more success up in Buckhead or somewhere around there, to be honest, if you're trying to prosecute this case. Like there's more white liberals up there than there are in downtown Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't think they'll change the venue, but if they were,
I don't think they'll ask
it,
to do it. Yeah.
And he gets it out in rural Georgia, he's all good there. I can promise you that, but that's not going to happen. I think Homegirl wants the credit and the fame and everything else she's doing. I know Jim Jordan.
Well, she's getting investigated right
yeah.
now too. So
yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
The whole goddamn thing is a mess, but it's fun to have a podcast in the middle of this, isn't it? Every day is a gift, D'Anthony, an absolute gift. And this mugshot was an absolute gift for Donald Trump and his entire campaign. And it's the last boost that he needed headed into the election. And then Vivek, I should say. Vivek, first person they called last night on Fox News. First guest they had was him. After he smashed everybody in that debate, and they were pissed off about it. I watched footage on all of it. CNN, Laura Ingraham, and MSNBC and all that other shit. Laura Ingraham was just so pissed off that she had to have Vivek on there. Fox News had gone all in on DeSantis.
Although she did, in the aftermath of the debate, gave Ramaswamy all the credit. Like, she's not dumb. She's a smart person. She's just, like, I don't think... She's kind of an establishment Republican, you know?
She is, but even last night, I mean, she said the most condescending shit I've ever heard to a guest. She goes, all right. And it's just this very fucking laissez-faire attitude that she has towards everything. All right, I just, forgive me. Can you tell yourself, say your name for the audience? Because, as of 5 minutes ago, nobody knew who you were. And I was like, bitch, people know who he is, Yes, he had a great debate last night, and then, boom, he's blasted around the world. But then to ask the audience during the middle of this to tell everybody who you are, no. The ratings came in. It was 12.8 million who watched that goddamn thing. Now, I'm shocked by that number. I thought 4 million tops.
That's still probably less than a third of what saw Trump's thing.
Half, yes. Trump was over 25 million, but still... For Fox News, with these candidates who are boring as shit, I'm very, very surprised.
12's not bad. Or
not at all.
Almost 13. That's more than the fucking World Series.
I would have put this at 4 million tops.
What was the World Series last time, Bob? 11.5, I think was peak. Is that right?
For the ratings, yeah.
I think it was 11.5.
12.8 tuned into Fox's platforms to watch Game 6, which is the Astros won.
12.8. So it's the same.
Yeah, it's identical. Yeah, it's identical to the last game of the World Series. So it was a ratings victory for Fox, and more importantly, for Vivek himself, because he shined, and so he got all that audience. I'm just surprised that many people tuned in. Couldn't believe it. Fox execs were through the roof, and then they completely switched their tone across all their hosts the next day, and then they were praising Ramaswamy for it. But he's also second behind Trump now, so I guess you kind of have to discard the rest of the party at this point if you're Fox. Because it's what have you done for me lately? So those guys are up and at him let's go. Let's get Vivek in here to see what he says about this. And again, he was flawless last night. He said all the right things about Trump and everything that was going on.
Yeah, I mean, he's, getting a lot of heat. I'm kind of putting together a timeline on this dude of things he said. He gets a lot of criticism for stuff. And, I think some of it's probably fair criticism. I mean, being a big pharma billionaire, That's not something that I would trust out of hand.
Is he a billionaire personally?
Yes.
Okay.
And he's made all of his money in Big Pharma.
Yeah, I don't really know much about him. Everything that I've caught from him is his interviews, and he's been great in interviews.
Well, yeah, I mean,
she asked him about the Big Pharma thing last night, but I didn't understand what it was or what his background was.
That's his entire background.
Was he in like a VC or something like that? Was raising money for it, or was he an exec for one of these companies?
Both.
Okay.
And in his book, he wrote that there's this kind of quasi-socialist plan for what we call the death tax, right? The estate tax. And it's to try to prevent aristocracies from happening. And it's a 60% death tax. So billionaire, and he wrote, this is in his book, he wrote that you shouldn't be able to become a billionaire just because your parents were rich. So when a billionaire dies, 60% of that money should go to the government. He wrote this down in a book and then published it. Right?
That's not great.
No, it's not great. He's praised George Soros a couple of times, but in that is a pretty facile argument, I think, because
she asked him about that last night. Actually,
yeah, he said
he got a scholarship.
No, George Soros said that's something else. George Soros said that China is the biggest threat to the free world, and he was like, "Yep, correct." Which is fucking true, by the way.
It is. But he also said, he admitted that...
yeah, he took a $90,000 scholarship. He lied about it. He lied and said that it was before he had money. His reported income for that year was $2.2 million. So he lied about that. That's not great. Okay. But taking the scholarship from Soros' brother when you're 24 years old and going into grad school, I don't fucking care about that.
I don't either.
Did anybody even know who George Soros was in 2011? Anybody, except for people that are like into conspiracy politics and shit like that? Unless you're an Alex Jones fan, you didn't know about George Soros. I
was going to say that's the first time I heard about George Soros was actually out of Alex Jones's mouth on air with him.
Yeah, and then he called Republicans and MAGA people crybabies and shit, which was, frankly, I thought it was accurate. But he's going to take some heat from that at some point. He said he wrote an op-ed. He and his wife wrote an op-ed. In the Wall Street Journal that people had a problem with, and it was their problem was that he said something about masking and how it could be helpful or some shit. But the title of the article was "Slow the Spread, Speeding It May Be Safer." And I think the premise was that we just got to let everybody get this shit and move on with our lives. Like if you had gotten one of the less problematic versions earlier on, you wouldn't have been hit by Delta just as hard, right?
Right.
Because I had the first one, and then when I got Delta, I didn't fucking even notice.
Yeah.
Right. The only reason I knew was because I took a test, and Delta was the worst of all of them, right? So, some of the criticism is fair and some of it is unfair. I'll say that. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to collect, because some people have reached out about him being on the show, but it's going to be a rough show if he does come on.
He'll answer everything.
I know he will, but I'm not going to let him off the hook. Like there's no time limit here.
Right.
And there's multiple things that he's said that are fucking stupid, and there's multiple things he's flipped on, which is fair. You get new information, new judgment. I'm good with that. I just want him to articulate it. But the other part is the thing with the Soros stuff, to lie about something like that, to say that, while I was young, I would be stupid not to take the $90K as a scholarship when I'm 24 years old because I didn't have any money. Well, you registered $2.2 million in income that year. You know what I mean?
What was it from?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But if he says something like, well, the $2.2 million in income was stock shares or whatever the fuck, like it wasn't liquid, or it was I put it back into my companies instead. Fair enough.
Yep.
That's a good answer, right? But he hasn't had a good answer publicly for it yet. So and this is for all you dickholes out there in the audience, if you know something or have seen somebody do a report on him that seems fishy or anything like that, shoot it over my way so I can look into it. So we'll be prepared when we have a conversation with him.
At Dan Holloway on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't think he grew up poor.
No, I don't think he said anything about growing up poor.
Well, it's just
his parents came to this country with nothing, but his dad was pretty successful.
His dad's an engineer and a patent attorney, and his mom is a psychiatrist.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you've heard him tell the story, but yeah, his parents came here 40 years ago, and he is 38, so they were engineers. His dad was an engineer. I don't know about his mom, but his dad was an engineer and did fine.
Yeah, his mom was.
But it's the American dream, right? They came here and they were successful because they worked hard.
That's his whole pitch, by the way, is that, parents came here with the American dream. They were able to do it. He's been able to do it. Blah, blah, blah.
They came as skilled immigrants, though, it looks like. Like, he went to engineering school in India. His dad did. So they weren't, I'm not taking away from it, but they were, like, good to go. They're like a doctor that comes over here.
Do they make a lot of money over there?
I mean, he went to engineering school and came over here. So you have money when
Bob,
you do
have you been to India?
You're right. He actually lived in a hut.
It was probably a fucking hut, and he's on a dirty carpet, friend.
India has some major cities. It's not all fucking Aladdin over there.
No, it sure is, dude. You fly over on a fucking carpet, or you don't come here at all because you can't afford a flight. All right? Son, get on that carpet. We're going to America. I got to design a bridge just to fulfill our dreams so you can run for president one day. Let's do it. But with Ramaswamy, we've reached out to his team, and they've been receptive. We'll try to figure that out as we go. Obviously, when something as big as his performance in the debate was, everybody wants a piece of that guy right now. So there's plenty of time between now and the election, and we'll try to get him on the show for you guys for sure. And then Trump's inmate number is now out. So it's PO 1135809. Because that's what they call you.
Yeah, I think that would have,
by your number.
That would have been a better post to put out than just the mugshot like everybody else did. It was fucking gay the way everybody just posted that mugshot.
Did you notice everybody posted a fake one too?
Yeah.
That was going around. Fake ones were going around for hours on the internet.
Yeah, they got duped at first. I think, like, if you're a real Trump fan, you should go get his prison number tattooed on you.
Let's go.
Like right here, big fucking letters on your forearm. Just like MAGA on this side and then the P, whatever the fuck it is over there.
Fulton County, dude, underneath it. Let's go. Oh, that's so funny, dude. So funny. I don't think anything's going to happen with any of this shit. None of it. All four of these cases. It's all a circus and it's impossible. How do you do it with a president of the United States who's this famous? In today's current social climate, there's just no way. There's no way you can do this. I mean, they're even having trouble with fucking small-time rappers. YMW Melly, they couldn't even get that goddamn thing going. And, like, he one song.
It's not like he confessed.
No, he didn't.
Well, he did.
Well,
sort of.
He had a very big hit song. But that's it. If you can't get a trial like that under control, imagine Trump. There's no fucking way. Shit, the Young Thug trial, which Fani Willis is also doing down in Georgia, nowhere near close to completion.
I think Young Thug and Trump should demand to be tried together. Like, I know these cases don't have anything to do with it, but Young Thug is going to do the soundtrack for my next campaign.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best producers in the fucking game, by the way.
Sure is.
He's like Kanye level, or like early 2000s. Kanye started as a producer,
yeah,
right, back in the day, doing beats and shit. Young Thug's the best right now.
He's been behind bars, so he can't. But
yeah, for like, 18 months or some shit now?
Long time. That trial is still going on.
Yeah.
And by the way, that's a RICO case. It's another RICO case. If you can't figure that the fuck out, imagine Trump. There's no way. There's no way anything happens with any of these goddamn things in time. The other part about this is some of those lawyers from New York are now going to need the witnesses and the evidence for this, that, and the other. Some of these cases will get killed because there's too much tampering of witnesses going back and forth for 4 different trials. Like, that's not going to work. You should have paired it all into one, but I guess they didn't give a fuck, and I don't know what the outcome they were hoping for was. So we'll see. The cameras in the courtroom, that got approved, by the way, in Fulton County. Mm-hmm. So that's the only one. The other 3 are up in the air at this point, but I watched that white judge, that fucking dorky guy talking about it. No one was more excited than that guy to be famous. So, yeah, it'll probably happen for sure. And if it does, let's say it does, and they start some of the proceedings before the election, then he'll be on wall-to-wall television all day long, like the OJ trial.
Yeah.
And he'll get elected in like 10 seconds. Wild, dude. Wild times to be alive. Anderson Cooper was erect last night. I could feel that guy's boner through the screen in the live feed. Him and David Muir.
I feel like he's probably got a nice-looking dick.
Anderson Cooper?
Yeah, I feel like he's just so well put together, and he's a Rockefeller, right?
Yes.
Does anybody see?
No, Vanderbilt.
Has anybody seen any Vanderbilt dicks?
that?
This is why, like, I think if you're part of like a political or finance dynasty like that, one person from the family, one of the dudes should be required to submit a dick pic, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't care about, like, the women. It's all surgery these days anyway, so who fucking cares about that? But you're not doing too much with the dick. I want to see what the quality of the dick is and whether I should respect that family or not. You know what I mean?
We got a Vanderbilt dick from back in
Find
the day.
us a Vanderbilt dick.
And like, did they take dick pics or did they have like an artist?
That was a drawing, yeah.
There's so many Vanderbilts. Somebody's definitely sent a dick pic.
Has to be, right? Or you got it like an oil painting of a nice, sweet dick.
If you're out there and you've banged one of the Vanderbilts, even if it's like a cousin, you know what I mean? Send us that dick pic.
Let us know.
We'll pay the guy for it. I don't want to fucking steal anybody's intellectual property.
No, me neither. I can see Anderson Cooper's dick in my mind. Is that
what if we had a wall and it was like dicks from all the major families?
Oh, it'd be great.
Or presidential dick pics would be nice too.
All right, so let's start with presidents. Which dick pic do you want to see first?
Abraham Lincoln.
That's mine too.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Why?
Because he's tall, skinny, white dude. I bet he's got a fucking hog.
Hog, that's the same way. Why? What do you want?
Come on. The man that called his dick Jumbo.
Oh, that's true. He did fucking
LBJ.
have it. Yeah, LBJ.
Oh, fuck, dude.
I call mine the thickness.
Yeah.
Which is 2 words, I know, but it's almost like a superhero.
I call mine the continental breakfast, but I just like to serve it to people. That's
What did you call your ass the continental divide?
I sure do.
Fair enough.
And then I call my asshole the Louisiana Purchase. That's just because I like to eat Popeyes. I would like to see his dick. That's a fat hog I'd like to see. And everybody said he's got the biggest dick there is, president-wise. But Lincoln,
I bet
same way, where it's just
Teddy
like
Roosevelt had a big-ass fucking dick on him, too. I mean, you don't fucking fist fight a bear without a big cock. No, you wouldn't have the confidence to do that.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Maybe if you were crazy, but that would be a one-time event. You know what I mean? You wouldn't do it over and over and then establish a National Park Service and shit.
2 cocks I wouldn't want to see. Taft, just because he's too fat. I don't want him
that
to
looks
lift.
like a fucking, it looks like an acorn in a nest of fucking weeds.
Yeah.
That's what that looks like. Nobody wants to see that shit.
Packing?
He would have to be just to fucking see the damn thing.
Yeah, just for just the sheer mass I like to see around it.
I bet John Adams had a little dick.
I bet you...
Because he had little dick energy, to be honest.
I bet you FDR did too because of the polio. I heard your dick shrivels
does it
up on
shrink?
polio.
Are you a medic? Is that true?
Yeah, is it true?
We got an EMT in the,
Yeah,
in
we
the
got an
studio.
EMT
He doesn't
in
want
the
to be
studio, one
seen
of our
or heard.
listeners. It's fine, but just say yes or no. Does polio cause you to have a small dick? He always saying no.
You
He's a
don't. You don't
liar.
even fucking know.
You don't know, dude.
When's the last time you treated a fucking polio patient?
Yeah,
asshole?
everybody's all
Bob, look that shit up.
sulked up right now. They've got the shot from Jonas Salk. You're good,
Well,
dude.
no, FDR, we just get handies from his cousin.
He would.
That's true. So I mean, how big were her hands?
Tiny. They were like jewel hands.
And did she do it like?
Yep.
Was she trying to start a fire on
Like
that
a
thing? or-
campfire, like a Boy Scout.
You got to
starting a
wonder.
Campfire.
I don't think the lube was as good back then.
It wasn't. It was a lot of
You did-
spit and
Olive
grease
oil.
left over from the pan of
Oh,
bacon.
shit.
Yeah.
Lard.
Lard.
Pig
and,
fat.
And they would put it in the fridge in a Folgers can. She would bring that out and crack open the old hand job grease.
There's a folk song about it. Jacking off with Crisco. And that's how Crisco got its name, actually, is from that song.
And it's actually Oliver Anthony. It's on his new thing.
Yeah. He's
singing it in
actually
West
been
Virginia.
reborn each generation. There's always an Oliver Anthony active and alive on Earth.
Where's my cousin? Grab that HJ grease from the fridge. I could really use a nut release.
I guess now what we need to do is get somebody to get Trump's fucking mugshot tattooed on their body. Do you think last row will go the other thigh for $1,000?
For $1,000, we can call him.
I think he will.
That would confuse so many people.
It's like,
Well,
He's
it
getting
would
a blow-
show people that he's
no more blowjobs from liberal girls. For
let me-
sure.
let me see if
Although
I
I don't
can
know
get
that
him on
liberal
board.
girls were sucking Scott's dick anyways, to be honest.
We don't know.
You know, he definitely, you can look at him and tell that he's not liberal. I don't know what that really means necessarily, but you can definitely tell.
Let's get him on the horn here. Let's see if he'll answer.
He's probably working.
Let's see, is this ringing? There we go. There we go. Let's see if last row will answer. Oh, come on, big guy. Come on. He might be working.
Yeah, he's probably at the gun shop.
Bitch.
Your call has been
Ah, come on, Lopez. You son of a bitch. I got to know. $1,000 would do it. We would do it live on air. We should do it on election night. Just have him get a Trump tattoo live on air for election night. I think that'd be rad.
I'll see what Homeboy's doing.
Yeah. We can book him for that because that'll be a fun night, dude. There's just so many unknowns from now until the election. You know, with the trials for Trump and everything else, will Biden just able to live? And that's a fun game.
I mean,
staying alive.
Is there a fucking Deadpool on Biden right now? There's got to be, right? I don't know if any. Is it legal to put that on to gamble
on
about
MyBookie? So they used to have it up. They used to have top 10
it's like political
figures around the world.
Who's going to die first or whatever,
Yeah, they used to have it. But I bet you they took it down now. He's just too fucking old at this point. Like, because now you're down to like hours and days versus years. You know, well, will he make it to 2030? No, he won't. I would put this at 2. My over-under, in all sincerity, for Biden is 2 years. I think that's about all his little body can handle.
I don't know that he'll make it that long, but yeah, that's probably the outside window.
Yeah. And then another wrestler died, by the way.
Yeah, 36 years old. What
is going on?
I didn't know him, but he's in. What was he in ECW or some shit?
Bray Wyatt. No, he was WWE, and he was in. He started off and he was his own character and all that other shit, and then he was in one of the big groups. Then he won a couple titles. So, yeah, dude, strange. They didn't say how he died though.
Yeah, I don't know. Heart attack probably.
Maybe. There he is right there.
They said heart issue complications because of COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got COVID recently?
No, like long-term COVID, heart problems. Great. But you got to imagine he's a pro wrestler, too. He probably put some other things in his body.
No, look at that body.
Don't say
Telco,
that.
Look at that body. Does that look like it's ever had any steroids in it?
Don't say that.
That's crazy.
You don't know.
Yeah, look at that, Telco.
Name one professional wrestler that has taken steroids.
Chris Benoit.
Okay, name 2.
Eddie Guerrero.
Just name all of them.
Okay, just name all the wrestlers, all right? But
fine.
but show this guy's body.
Wait, why
again,
did you pick Eddie Guerrero?
Because
what a weird.
His heart exploded. Yeah, his heart exploded from like steroids.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good. Good for him. It's a good way to go out. I guess I'll fucking know.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious, dude. Do we have a Drinkin' Bro of the Week? Are you able to come up for Drinkin' Bro of the Week? All right, good. I know we got to keep it PG here.
Oh, is he coming up?
Yeah, he's coming up here, and we're gonna show something for you. Thanks for being in the studio, drinking some Hard AF seltzers. You're gonna sit in D'Anthony's desk here in a second. In the meantime, I don't know why Bob put this little clit dick.
Guess that clit
on
dick.
the screen. Oh, is that a famous person?
That's China.
China the wrestler?
Yeah. We lost.
Shit.
R.I.P.
Steroids are dope.
Damn, dude. They're not. That sucks. Fuck, I didn't know that was China. I watched that. That was a celebrity porn that I had to turn off. You can come up, by the way. You're good. That was a celebrity sex tape that I had to turn off where I was like, I can't do this anymore. It was like watching 2 dudes fuck each other. Oh, and R.I.P. China. She's dead, too.
Oh, God.
I think everyone in that video is dead.
They are.
No. Is X-Pac alive?
X-Pac is very much alive.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay. I thought he died, too.
Oh, no. Sean Waltman is still alive.
Is he really? I thought he died. All right. I'm with you, Bob. I thought he died, too.
If you had just told me he was dead, I'd be like, yeah, sure, yeah. He's dead.
Now, this isn't on screen for our audience. I just want to point that out. You can put that about an inch from your face.
Like this?
Yeah, perfect.
Well, they can look in the White Sox jersey.
Yeah.
Seeing the reflection.
And then swap that out now so he can see himself on the screen. Thank you very much. Look at you. Handsome young man here. Welcome to the show. What's your name?
Taylor Profrock.
Well, welcome to Drinkin' Bros.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
It's awesome.
Friday show. We're just getting fucking wasted here today.
Yeah.
I'm trying to mix it with water because I'm supposed to go to this thing tonight where I've got to be like appropriated at dinner.
Boo.
I don't really want
Boo.
to. Yeah, dude. So I'm just like, I'm drinking Hard AFs and I'm kind of mixing it with
there
water.
you go.
Where I'm like, maybe.
Stay hydrated, man.
Trying to keep it together just for my wife, where she's like, don't embarrass me tonight.
Me too.
I'm going to say the worst shit at dinner ever, too.
I'm actually, it's my wife's birthday tomorrow. She's working in Austin right now. She flew in yesterday.
Oh, shit.
So I drove down to meet her. Yeah.
Happy birthday. How old is she?
She'll be 29.
Look at you.
Yeah.
How old are you?
30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys married? Kids?
We're married. It'll be 10 years in December.
Shit.
No kids. Yeah, I got married young. It's awesome.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Super awesome.
Where are you from originally?
I'm actually from Ellis County, Texas.
All right.
Yeah.
Small
And
town?
Yeah, it's a real small town there. By Waxahachie, if you know where that is. It's called Red Oak. That's where I'm from originally.
Don't know where that is, but
Waxahachie?
I feel
Yeah,
like
Waxahachie.
I feel like I
Yeah.
got everything I needed
It's
to
south
know
of
from
Dallas.
Jason Aldean.
Oh God.
What? It's a small town. That's where you're from, dude. And I know I'm not going to try that stuff in your town. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But who would you like to give Drinking Bro of the Week to?
My wife. Yeah.
Okay.
Sarah. Sarah's her name. She's awesome. She's an architect. She's just really cool. And
How did a firefighter meet an architect?
I wasn't a firefighter yet, and we went to high school together. We didn't date in high school, but we met after high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was a hostess at Chili's. Word up.
I love Chili's,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
You listen to the
that's-
show. I'm a Chili's
oh, yeah,
boy.
Oh, yeah. No, it's been a lot of fun, man. She's awesome, and I'm super happy. Yeah.
Was it the sizzling fajitas, dude? That got you?
I can't remember what I had. I don't remember. It was a long time ago, man. You're talking 12 years ago, probably.
She was a waitress, right?
She was a hostess.
Oh, a hostess.
Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, no, she wasn't a waitress. Not
All
yet.
right,
No,
because I was gonna say that's probably how you would meet her is if somebody ordered the sizzling fajitas. Because we all turn, the whole restaurant turns, and you would have seen your wife, and then the shh, and then the steam of the shh coming off, and you're like, oh shit, I want to marry that woman right there.
No, she was just a hostess. Yeah.
Okay.
We were, like I said, super young. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, look,
it's been-
it's 10 years. So
Yeah,
it's worked out.
It's awesome, man. It's been a ride. It's awesome.
No kids?
Not yet. We're working on it. So.
Trying every night? There you go. What? Just drink some Hard AF seltzer. I mean,
They're delicious, by the way. I had two, and I had to stop. They're really good.
I had so many of these that I had a third kid on accident. So.
Well, you know.
Yeah, dude. I can blame my own product for my.
That's awesome.
She grows up and hears the show. What, Dad? What was that? I was boozing. You get it, 8%. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
That's funny. Well, cheers. Thanks for being here,
No
man.
problem.
We
Thanks for having
appreciate
me.
you
Sorry to
stopping
walk in on a meeting or whatever was going on.
We don't
but
care.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We say this on the show all the time. We leave the doors open for you guys.
Yeah.
If you walk in on a meeting, great. We've got nothing to hide or nothing's that cool here. And if you caught us in the back room, Dan, for the first 45 minutes, usually screaming the N-word into a pillow before we go on air. So if you caught that.
I heard that.
But it's muffled. You can't even tell what word it is, so it's totally fine. And then me, I'm usually in the women's bathroom, and I'm in the middle of a strangulation sitch for me where I need a spotter, and I'll kind of keep that door open so I can yell out in case I lose my footing.
There you go. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Just
Because I oil up the floor. It's tile in there, and I want to feel like I'm in a more dangerous, compromised position. So what I'll do is I'll put some Johnson's baby oil all over the tile floor. And then that way my sneakers, I can never really get that grip that I need, as I'm achieving a climax. And I like to come that close to the edge,
all right.
And you've got a real job that you can't comment on. So I could keep telling this story forever,
I've been on one of them, so. Well.
Oh, on a strangulation thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. You showed up and somebody had...
Yeah,
they were dead?
long time ago, just one. Yeah.
Gotta have a spotter.
No, they weren't dead. No, they weren't dead.
Oh, they were alive?
Yeah.
How'd that work out for them?
I'm assuming they're alive now.
All right. We hope.
I tried. We tried our best.
But here's the thing with that kink, all right? And I'm just going to tell you this for future reference in case you don't know. You want the police and firemen to find you, and that elevates it. So then on the next few times, you're like, man, am I able to push it? Am I able to push it that far where they'll be back? Are they going to come back to the house? Because you want to be found in that type of situation. Look, and I'm just walking you through.
Yeah.
The
Psychiatrist,
whole
I'm
kink
not.
world,
So.
and it's fine, and that's why I'm educating you on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Next time you guys go out on a call like that, and somebody said, "Hey, we got a strangle baiter," just be like, "Oh shit, does he want us to watch? Does he want to be rescued?" Okay. So ask yourself.
Sounds good.
That. Yeah. And again, whatever your shoes are, make sure you got a nice grip because you want to pour that oil on the floor so you can slip around and kind of feel like you might lose consciousness.
Got it.
Potentially die.
Got it.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Oh, man, I appreciate it, man. Happy to be here. Thank you.
I'm glad we could end the show this way today. Yeah, that's how all these
awesome.
Friday shows go.
Yeah, you guys are just as funny in person. It's awesome.
I just like that if somebody tuned in for this title, like they just found it at random, didn't even know who we were. They're like, man, for the first 45 minutes, it was pretty serious analysis over Donald Trump and his convictions and everything else. And then the last 15, that dude just talked about strangle baiting and getting caught.
Hey, man, that's why we watch the show. It's awesome.
Yeah, sure is. Yeah. Sure is. Well, cheers to everybody out there who's strangle baiting at home. If you are, though, just go to iTunes and Spotify and rate the show a 5-star before you strangle bait. That way, in case you die, at least you got the rating in and you can help us. And that way you're doing something good for the world before you take yourself out of it. So please do that. And again, before you oil up the floor and everything else, because once that gets on your fingers, that screen on your phone is real slippery. You gotta hit that 5-star on both, and that would be really helpful. For D'Anthony Holloway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros podcast. Good night, everyone.